The moment Angel Reese called herself the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, the entire basketball world froze for a second. Not LeBron, not Shaq, not even someone still playing. Michael Jordan, 6 rings, 5 MVPs, a career 51% shooter, the gold standard of efficiency and dominance. And just days later, on her own podcast sitting across from her, was Lisa Leslie, Hall of Famer, champion, Olympic legend, calmly telling her that her layups need fixing. That wasn't social media hate. That wasn't a random analyst. That was royalty speaking. And at the exact same time, Caitlin Clark was being named one of the most powerful women in sports while dragging the WNBA into a $2.2 billion media deal. So the question isn't about talent, it's about impact. Who's actually moving the needle, and who's just making noise? Because once Angel Reese made that Jordan comparison, the standard changed instantly. When you invoke Jordan, you're not just saying you're confident, you're saying you dominate, and domination shows up in numbers. Reese's rookie field goal percentage hovered around 39%. Around the rim, the place that's supposed to be automatic for a 6.3 forward, the numbers weren't much better. That's not a slump. A slump is temporary. When over half your attempts near the basket don't fall, that's structural. And the internet noticed. Clips of missed layups went viral. Announcers audibly chuckled during broadcasts. Memes spread fast. Fair or not, that became part of the narrative. And then came the podcast episode that shifted everything. Lisa Leslie isn't just some former player giving opinions. She's a 2-time WNBA champion, 3-time MVP, 4-time Olympic gold medalist. When she talks about post-play, she's not guessing. She lived it. And she sat down on Unapologetically Angel and told Reese directly, "Your biggest area for growth is finishing at the rim." She even said they'd need to put up hundreds of reps a day. She called it fixable. That word did a lot of heavy lifting. It wasn't disrespect. It wasn't tearing her down. It was mentorship. But public mentorship. And that's what made it hit differently. Because while that conversation was happening, Caitlin Clark was turning the entire league into appointment television. Before Clark arrived, Indiana Fever attendance was near the bottom of the league. After her rookie season, number 1, not trending upward. Jumping from the basement to the penthouse in a year, 22 of her games cleared 1 million viewers. League-wide average viewership surged. Her games alone accounted for over a quarter of the league's economic activity. That's not hype, that's math. And when TV executives see math like that, they open their wallets. The WNBA signed an 11-year, $2.2 billion media deal. That doesn't happen because someone talks big. That happens because the ratings are undeniable. Sponsors moved fast, too. Clark signed an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike. Signature shoe incoming, Gatorade, Wilson, national campaigns. Forbes listed her among the most powerful women in sports. She's 23. Meanwhile, Reese signed with Reebok, a deal built heavily on charisma, personality, and potential. There's nothing wrong with that. Athletes build brands all the time, but the market rewards measurable impact, and that's where the separation becomes clear. Lisa Leslie didn't ignore that either. On Reese's own show, she openly praised Clark for changing the game. She said when one player eats, everyone eats. She made it clear Clark deserves the attention. And she contrasted that with humility, pointing out Clark respects the history of the league. That conversation wasn't an accident. On one side, Leslie was highlighting production, revenue, growth. On the other, she was highlighting areas Reese still needs to elevate. And that's not hate, that's reality. Meanwhile, in Indiana, something bigger than one star is forming. Aaliyah Boston is a legitimate interior presence who finishes consistently. Kelsey Mitchell can create her own shot anytime. Lexi Hull has developed into a gritty, two-way contributor. Chemistry matters. Clark has even said team chemistry alone is worth 10 to 12 points per game. That's maturity. That's leadership. The Fever aren't just a one-player show anymore. They're building something sustainable. Chicago, on the other hand, has faced instability. Attendance dipped. There were public comments about roster frustration. Reports suggested internal tension. And when your brand starts growing faster than your on-court production, scrutiny multiplies. Clark didn't campaign for the spotlight. She didn't declare herself the